Warning, this video may contain spoilers for late parts in the game. If you plan on playing this at some point, turn back now. You have been warned. Welcome to the Barnyard, everybody. Today I'll be reviewing a game that completely blew me out of the water back when I was a kid, as more often than not, movie game tie-ins are pretty much guaranteed to be trash, though maybe that's just been my experience with them. This actually held true for this playthrough, as I was happily surprised to find I wasn't as blown out of the water due to already playing it before, but I was still happy to find myself enjoying Barnyard again. Without any further ado, let's get to the basics. Barnyard has you running around in an open world setting of the areas around the main character's barnyard. You get to choose your own breed of cow at the start as you get inducted into the new lifestyle of your fellow animals. For the biggest part of the game, you will be playing through a whole bunch of mini-games, such as Tease the Mailman or even just playing pool. These mini-games will earn you stars if you do them well enough that will be counted towards beating out Otis and becoming Barnyard Champion. As you go through the mini-games, you will sometimes earn money that can be spent at the Gopher Underground shop at night in order to buy various things for the barn that turns into a place for the animals to party at night. You can also purchase bicycles as well as the expendable items. These expendable items can be used for technically one of three things: making food, making mocktails, or for straight up just eating it, which I don't really know if there's any increased effects for eating anything specific. You do have a stamina gauge which runs out fairly quickly if you're just running around, but the main helpfulness is with getting around on the bike, as it will be your main mode of transportation to get around the world. Before that though, you unlock areas just through playing the game. In order to cook or make drinks effectively, you will need to find the various recipe rocks hidden around, as the local thieving raccoons have stolen Pig's recipe book and hidden them around, though apparently you can just guess them, netting you a couple coins to spend. If you're trying to 100% the game, you will need to find the actual recipe still. More collectibles are the notes placed throughout the game that will give you helpful hints as well as some random lore for the characters. As you build up the barn, you will sometimes get Gold Rush tokens or milkweed seeds. The Gold Rush tokens are used to activate certain stumps that will put a trail of money around that you have a limited time to get before they disappear. But they can be done as many times as you still have the tokens, as they're a finite amount. Quite honestly though, I stopped using them after I got the metal detector due to a fact that doesn't get mentioned till later, but the gophers hide their earnings under treasure bell plants. If you have the metal detector, you can dig a bunch of coins up daily. The milkweed seeds are used to plant a growable vine that lets you reach normally unreachable areas, as well as to unlock extras like concept art and other behind the scenes goodies. For the most part, this game very lightly follows the main story of the movie, as they have to add your involvement into it, and you get much more of the spotlight than the main characters really do. You just do a bunch of missions in each chapter where you help out in certain aspects, such as the raccoons that mess around with random stuff, and at the end, coyotes become a problem. Ben is actually in this game, though his death is neutered a lot because he just, dies of exhaustion or something, with Otis now having to take his father's place. After a while though, he realizes what his dad was fighting for, and that he was a big distraction from the issues, partially being at fault for his dad's death, and leaves the barnyard in your hands, or hooves, continuing to do mini games and help out before the final confrontation between the main crew and the coyotes, with the crew finally driving off the coyotes with Otis and getting to live out the rest of their days, I guess. Barnyard is pretty dang great most of the way through. The game is pretty fluid, and I had fun with almost all of the mini games that there were to play. Like I talked about a little, the way that the movie was incorporated was pretty interesting while still adding its own new twist on certain parts. One of the best parts of the game for me, even when I played as a kid, was building the barn up. This is usually one of my favorite parts of any game that has it included. Also, just getting to explore around the barnyard was nice in general, especially back when the show was going on, as I would try to remember where everything was located in relation to the game. The pacing of this game was fairly good up to chapter 6, but this might be due to me cheesing a little with the Gopher's hidden treasure, as I was pretty much able to finish buying all the items for the barn by this point, making the final 3 chapters drag on just a bit too long. These portions also had me doing a couple minigames I didn't like, such as the golfing, which is just bad in this game in general, and reusing the other missions. They're a bit different, sometimes a little harder, but they had gotten kind of boring at this point. I think people's enjoyment of this game will vary a lot, but I at least had fun through most of the game, though I played it a bit differently than I did when I was a kid, leaving most of the extra things to do until after I beat the game, which, as memory serves, made the game a little more fun near the end, but maybe that's just how it is now that I've grown up and learned how to play games a lot better and smarter. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next video.